Hi, I'm Tyler, and I'll be reading The Ugly Duckling. One fine spring day, a mother duck sat on some eggs in her nest. She wanted to keep the eggs warm. She sat quietly and waited for them to hatch. The mother duck had 5 eggs in her nest. 4 of the eggs were very small, and the 5th egg was very big. Look at the small eggs in the big one. Then one day the eggs began to crack. 1, 2, 3, 4 small eggs hatched, but the biggest did not hatch. The mother egg sat down again. She kept the biggest egg warm. She wanted to wait for them to hatch. Look at the 4 little ducks. Finally, the big egg began to crack. The last duckling popped out. "Cheep, cheep," he said. The mother duck stared at the baby bird's long neck. She looked at his gray feathers, and she looked at the other ducklings. "He is not like the others," she said, "but he is my little duckling, and I love him very much." During the summer, the mother duck wanted to teach her ducklings how to swim. She walked to the water. 4 yellow ducks followed her, and so did the gray little duckling. "What is that ugly thing?" said the other ducks in the pond. "Leave him alone," said the mother. "He's my little duckling. He can swim. He is big and strong and so handsome, and he will be a handsome duck one day." Oh, those ducks are being mean. But the ducks did not leave him alone. They hissed and pecked at him, and they called him the Ugly Duckling. So he decided to run away. The Ugly Duckling swam up the river. There he met some wild ducks. But there were hunters nearby. They fired shots at the ducks. The Ugly Duckling was frightened. The wild ducks flew up and away, and the Ugly Duckling was alone again. Oh, he's all by himself. The Ugly Duckling swam up the river. Soon he came to a cottage. He was very tired. He laid down and went to sleep. The next morning, an old woman found the Ugly Duckling. "I'm so glad you're here," she said. "You can be big help. Come meet the other animals." The Ugly Duckling was very happy he found a place he was wanted. "Can you lay eggs?" asked the hen. "No," said the Ugly Duckling. "Can you catch mice?" asked the cat. "No," said the Ugly Duckling. "Then what are you good for?" asked the hen. The Ugly Duckling had no answer. He felt very sad. So he went back to the river. The Ugly Duckling swam and swam. He caught fish to eat. He grew bigger and stronger, but he was very lonely. One day in the chilly fall, the Ugly Duckling saw some beautiful birds in the sky. They were snowy white. They had long, slender necks. How he wished he could fly with them. Winter came, and the Ugly Duckling found a small pond where he could stay. But it got colder and colder, and it snowed and snowed. The one day the Ugly Duckling found that he could not swim. The pond had frozen. He was stuck in the ice. He looked so cold. A woodcutter saw the Ugly Duckling stuck in the ice. The woodcutter chopped away the ice and took the duckling home. The woodcutter put the duckling in front of the fire. Soon the Ugly Duckling was warm and happy. He looked so peaceful. The next day the Ugly Duckling felt better, but the woodcutter's children wanted to play. They chased the duckling all around the house until he flew out the door. Many more days passed and the ugly duckling became cold and hungry. He looked so worried. Then one day a warm breeze blew. Spring was coming. The ugly duckling looked up at the sky and he wanted to fly. So he raised his wings up and went. As he flew, the ugly duckling saw some beautiful white birds down below. They were swimming in a pond. The ugly duckling said, "How beautiful they are. I want to swim with them." The ugly duckling flew down to the water. The beautiful white birds all came swimming toward him. The ugly duckling was frightened. "Please don't hurt me," said the ugly duckling. "I know I'm very ugly." One of the birds said, "How could you be ugly? You are a swan, and swans are beautiful." The ugly duckling looked at himself in the water and saw not an ugly duckling, but a beautiful swan. "Look," cried a little girl from the shore. "Look at the new swan. He's the most beautiful of them all." The new swan raised his wings. All the children came to look at him. The ugly duckling had been very unhappy, but he knew that he belonged with the beautiful swans at last. He was very happy. The moral of the story is that you don't have to be afraid of who you are.
Camera?
It's my turn to read. What are you talking? This is literally.
It's my turn to read. Who do you guys want to hear read? Exactly.
Alright.
My hand's better than yours too.
Is this?
Mm-hmm. My name's Gianna, and today I'll be reading you The Serious Goose. The Serious Goose, written by Jimmy Kimmel. This is a serious goose. There is nothing silly about this goose. Do not even try to be silly around this goose.
Why not? There's like nothing silly about him.
Nothing.
No humor.
At
Nothing.
all.
No flavor.
This goose will not smile at all. Not even if you put a chicken
I'm not a chicken.
on her head.
I'm not a chicken. What are you talking about? This.
Nothing. Even if you were to dress this goose as a moose.
A moose? Nothing.
Zilch.
I think I'll take the chicken. Actually.
Even if you order a pizza topped with delicious snails.
Snails?
Snails.
That's actually disgusting. You expect that to make someone smile?
I mean, it's pretty funny.
No.
No smile. This goose means business. Serious business. No one, and I mean no one, can make this goose smile. What's that you say? You think you can do it? Ha! You think you can make this goose smile? There's no way. There is no way. No one can make this goose smile. No one can. This is a no smiling goose. But go right ahead, look in the mirror, and give it a shot. Make funny faces. Let's see what you've got. Stick out your tongue and let your ears wiggle. Act like a monkey. This goose shall not giggle. Cluck like a chicken. like a cow.
Moo.
Be doofy, be goofy. Any way you know how. However you do it, it won't be enough.
Moo.
This goose isn't silly. This goose is too tough. See? I hate to say I told you so, but this is exactly what I knew would happen. Good try, though. You were very funny. Most geese would have laughed so hard, eggs would be coming out. But not this goose. This goose will never, ever... Uh-oh. What is this? Oh, something is happening to this goose. No, this can't be. Stop being so silly. This is a serious goose. Do not make the goose smile. Oh no. This is terrible. By the power vested in me, by the order of the serious geese and gooses, I hereby command you to stop amusing this goose. Wow. The goose is really giggling. This is not such a serious goose after all. In fact, this seems to be a silly goose. You are a silly kid. See, he's even wearing shoes now. You will be hearing from our attorneys.
Well, speaking of attorneys, I think it's my turn. Duck for President by Doreen Cronin and Betsy Lehman. Running a farm is very hard work. At the end of each day, Farmer Brown is covered from head to toe in hay, horsehair, seeds, sprouts, feathers, filth, mud, muck, and coffee stains.
Coffee stains.
Coffee stains.
Oh, that's gross.
And he doesn't smell very good either. The animals have chores to do too. The pigs clean under the beds, cows weed the garden, sheep sweep the barn, the duck takes out the trash, mows the lawn, and grinds the coffee beans.
It's a lot of work.
At the end of each day, the pigs are covered in lint bunnies, the cows are covered in weeds, the sheep's covered in dust, and duck is covered in tiny bits of grass and espresso beans. Duck did not like to do chores. He did not like picking tiny bits of grass and espresso beans from out of his feathers. Why is Farmer Brown in charge anyway? Thought Duck. What we need is an election.
An election?
He made a sign and hung it up in the barn. Farmer Brown must go. Farm election tomorrow. The next morning, Farmer Brown found a poster on his front door. Vote Duck for a kinder, gentler farm. Farmer Brown was furious. He ran to the barn and found the animals registered to vote. The mice got together and protested the height requirement, so Duck crossed it off. Voter registration, voters must live on the farm and show valid ID.
They have ID?
Yes. It helps them do chores. On election day, each of the animals filled out a ballot and placed it in a box. The vote was counted and the results were posted on the barn wall. Farmer Brown 6, Duck 20. Farmer Brown demanded a recount. One sticky ballot was found stuck to the bottom of a pig. The new tally was Farmer Brown 6, Duck 21. The voters had spoken, and Duck was officially in charge. Yay! But running a farm was very hard work, and at the end of each day, Duck was covered from head to toe in hay, horsehair, seeds, sprouts, feathers, mud, muck, and coffee stains.
Ew.
Running a farm is no fun at all, thought Duck. That night, Duck and his staff started working on Duck's campaign for governor.
What's a governor?
A governor leads each state that you live in, and they answer to the president. Duck left Farmer Brown in charge and hit the campaign trail. He visited small-town diners, he marched in parades, and he went to town meetings and gave speeches that only other ducks could understand. And on election day, voters filled out their ballots in the booths all over the state. And the vote was counted, the results were posted in the local newspaper. The governor demanded a recount. 2 sticky ballots were found stuck to the bottom of a plate of pancakes. And the new tally was Mrs. Governor, 299,999. Duck, 300,002. The voters had spoken, and Duck was officially in charge. Woo! Yay!
Yeah, he won again. He beat the governor. He's the governor now.
But running a state is very hard work. At the end of each day, Duck was covered from head to toe in hairspray, ink stains, scotch tape, fingerprints, mayonnaise, and coffee stains. And he had a very bad headache. Running a state is no fun at all, thought Duck. And that night, Duck and his staff started working on posters for the presidential election.
President? What's a president?
The president is the commander-in-chief of our country. We vote for him every 4 years. And Duck left his staff in charge and hit the campaign trail. He kissed babies in local diners, he rode in parades, he gave speeches that only other ducks could understand, and he even played the saxophone on late-night television. On election day, the voters filled out their ballots in booths all over the country. The vote was counted, and the results were announced on CNN. The president demanded a recount. 10 sticky ballots were found stuck to the bottom of the vice president. So the new tally was, Mr. President, 50,546,165, Duck, 50,546,180.
That's a lot of numbers.
But the voters had spoken, so Duck was officially in charge. Duck's the president!
Now, ooh, yeah, he's playing the saxophone, he's talking to other ducks. He's the president.
Running a country is very hard work. At the end of each day, Duck was covered from head to toe in face powder, paper cuts, staples, security badges, Secret Service agents, and coffee stains. And he had a very, very bad headache.
Drinks a lot of coffee.
Yes. Running a country is no fun at all, thought Duck. Then he checked the help wanted ads. Duck needed, no experience necessary, must be able to mow the lawn and grind coffee beans. So Duck left the vice president in charge and headed back to the farm. And at the end of each day, Farmer Brown is now covered from head to toe in hay, horsehair, seeds, sprouts, feathers, filth, mud, muck, and coffee stains. And Duck is working on his autobiography. The end.
He did a lot.
He did.
Okay, so my book, The Serious Goose, was about learning to be yourself. You might think that you're something else. Other people might push you to be something else, but don't let them. You can always be who you are, no matter what.
And mine is simply about trying new things and getting out of your comfort zone, but also knowing where those boundaries lie and making sure you can go back to that if you really want to.
Bye, kids!
Hi, my name is Arabella Otero, and I will be reading Vikings, which is a Finding Nemo story. Nemo was enjoying the perfect afternoon. He was playing tag with his octopus friend Pearl. The two friends chased each other from sponge bed to sponge bed. "Tag, you're it," Pearl giggled as she tapped Nemo on the back with one of her 8 tiny tentacles. "Bet you can't catch me." "We'll see about that," Nemo said as Pearl jetted away, kicking up a large cloud of sand. Nemo flipped his fins faster and faster and chased Pearl past the edge of the sponge beds. He was just about to tag her when he spotted something tall and wide up ahead. "What's that?" he shouted, pointing a fin over Pearl's head. "What's what?" Pearl asked. "Come on," Nemo said. "Let's go check it out." Nemo swam towards the looming object. It seemed to wave in the gentle current. "Wait for me," Pearl called out. Getting closer, Nemo let out an excited yelp. It was a huge seaweed bed. The bed was a giant maze of green and red seaweed. Some spots were almost too dense to swim through, while others formed small pockets of open space. Pearl and Nemo had never seen it before. "This looked like the perfect hide-and-seek spot," Nemo said. "Wanna play?" Pearl looked around nervously. The sea had started to turn dark. "I would love to, Nemo, but I think we should head home. It's getting late and both our dads will be wondering where we are." Looking around, Nemo realized Pearl was right. It was time to go home for the night. When Nemo got back to his sea anemone, his father was waiting. Together they had dinner, and Nemo told him about all his afternoon with Pearl and the seaweed bed. "That sounded like a neat place," Marlin told his son, "but now it's time for bed." "Aw, come on, Dad," Nemo protested. "Can't I just stay up for a little bit longer?" Marlin shook his head. "Try to get some sleep, son." Nemo settled in the bed and closed his eyes. He told himself a long bedtime story. He thought about boring things like math class and even counted dolphins, but he still wasn't sleepy. What happens to me? Finally, Nemo got up and swam to his father. "Dad, I can't fall asleep. I've tried, but I just can't. So I was thinking." Marlin looked up at his son. "Thinking, you say?" he replied, trying not to smile. He had a pretty good idea what his son was thinking. "What exactly were you thinking, son?" he asked. "I think that you and I should go to the seaweed bed now. That way you'll know it's safe, and I can go there tomorrow to play with my friends. I promise when we get back I'll go right to bed. Please," Nemo begged. Marlin looked at his son's hopeful face. Seeing the seaweed bed for himself did seem like a good idea. "All right," he said finally. "Let's go take a look at that new find of yours." "Yes!" Nemo shouted, flipping a fin over in excitement. "Let's go." As Marlin and Nemo swam through the reef, Nemo realized he was glad to have his father with him. Everything seemed scarier in the dark. Squinting, Nemo looked for the seaweed bed, but in the dark it was nearly impossible to see anything. "Son," Marlin began, "are you sure the bed is out this far?" Nemo nodded. "It is! I know it is! I just wish I could see a little bit better." Nemo was just about to give up when he saw a light in the distance. The speck drew closer and closer, growing brighter and brighter, until it lit up the water all around Nemo. In the middle of the light was the strangest fish Nemo had ever seen. I don't think I've ever seen a fish like that before. Have you? It's a pretty cool looking fish though. The new fish had giant lights under its eyes. "Hi, I'm Nemo," Nemo stammered, amazed. "Hi," the other fish said in a friendly sing-song. "I'm Lumen." "It's nice to meet you, Lumen," Marlin said. "I'm Nemo's dad." "How come we've never seen you before?" Lumen fluttered around, causing her light to waver and flicker. "My family and I are nocturnal," she said. "We swim and play at night while everyone else is sleeping." "Dad and I are being nocturnal too," Nemo said. "We're looking for that big seaweed bed I found this afternoon. Do you know where it is?" "You bet I do," Lumen said. "That's where I live. Follow me." Lumen led Nemo and Marlin to the seaweed bed. "Do you want to play a game?" she asked. "Yeah," Nemo shouted. "Can we, Dad? Please?" Marlin nodded. "Just stay out here in the open," he said. "I'm going to go have a look around." While the kids played, Marlin explored the seaweed bed to make sure it was safe. Behind him, he could hear his son counting down from 100. "Don't peek," Marlin heard Lumen shout as she swam off to find a good hiding place. Marlin pushed through the maze of thick green and red strands, swimming farther and farther into the seaweed bed. Suddenly, he realized how dark and quiet it had become. Marlin spun around. He had no idea where he was. All he could see was seaweed. He was lost. Flipping his fins, Marlin tried to find his way out. Just when he was beginning to think he would be stuck forever, Marlin spotted a faint light in the distance. "Nemo," he called, swimming toward it. "Is that you?" Following the light, Marlin made his way to the seaweed strands. They grew farther and farther apart until finally he hit open water. There, right where he'd left them, were Nemo and Lemon. Marlin let out a sigh of relief. "Dad," Nemo said excitedly, "there you are. We didn't know where you'd gone. Don't you know better than to go off swimming by yourself in the dark?" Marlin smiled. "I guess I should have followed my own advice." Nemo gave Marlin a hug. "I'm just glad we found you, Dad." Together, the two said goodnight to Lumen as they swam home. Marlin let out a big yawn. I guess they would be pretty tired since having that long day. Nemo looked at his father. "When we get home, I think you should go right to bed, Dad," Nemo said with the teasing look in his eye. "You've had more than enough adventure for one day." I definitely think that the moral of this story is to always stick together, always make sure you know where you're going, have a buddy, just stay safe, I guess. Always know where you're going, who you're with.
Hi everyone, my name is Michaela and today I'm going to be reading Robin Hood. Here's a story of the most famous hero who ever lived, Robin Hood. He lived in Sherwood Forest just outside Nottingham Town with his big friend Little John and his outlaw band of merry men. Yes, Robin Hood was an outlaw. There's Robin Hood and his big friend Little John. You see, while good King Richard was off defending England, Richard's brother, the silly and wicked Prince John, took over the throne. Prince John was just as greedy as he was silly. The more taxes and gold he collected, the more he wanted. He sent his sheriff to get every coin in Nottingham. There's King Richard. Robin and his band of merry men fled to the forest and became outlaws. They outsmarted Prince John at every turn. They stole the gold from the rich and gave it back to the poor. And Robin was the boldest, craftiest one of them all. There's them, right there. Meanwhile, in the castle, the kind and beautiful Maid Marian sat wistfully at her window. She and Robin Hood were secretly in love. She wished they could get married, but she said, "He's probably forgotten all about me." There's Maid Marian right there. And deep in Sherwood Forest, Robin Hood was thinking of his lady love. "I love her," he told Little John, "but it just wouldn't work. She's a high-born lady of quality." There's him thinking of Maid Marian. Oh no, what's gonna happen? One day, a grand event took place, the tournament of Gold Arrow, to judge the best archer in the kingdom. Archers from all over England began to arrive in Nottingham. A crowd gathered to eat, play games, and watch the grand golden arrow tests. There's the tournament of the golden arrow. Look how fun they all are having. As for the prize, it was to be a kiss from the lovely Maid Marian. "This will be the greatest performance," proclaimed Robin. There's him doing his performance. The fanfares sounded and the drums rolled to announce the start of the contest. The archers marched past Prince John. Thought Maid Marian. "I think that stork looks like..." The stork winked at Maid Marian. There's the fanfares. Of course, the stork was the best of all the archers. Even when the villainous sheriff tried to mess up the stork's aim, thwack! He hit a perfect bull's eyes every time. Prince John smiled slyly. The best marksman in the kingdom could only be... There he is, hitting a perfect shot. Prince John ripped at Robin's excuse with his sword. He knew he must be Robin Hood. No other archer could be that good. "Seize him!" Prince John ordered his guards. "Oh no, there's Robin. I hope he's gonna be okay." Poor Robin. But Robin Hood had good friends. They battled the guards and saved Robin Hood from Prince John. "Long live King Richard!" shouted Robin as he scooped up Maid Marian and disappeared into the forest. Look! Look what happened! They scooped her up. While Alan Adale sang of life, laughter, and love, Robin Hood and Maid Marian joined the merry men, dancing long into the night. There's them dancing. Back at the castle, Prince John snarled, "Double the taxes! Triple the taxes!" Before long, Robin Hood's friends had been thrown into prison. How could Robin Hood get past the guards? By excusing himself as a guard, of course, and stealing the keys, while Little John set everyone free. Oh no, poor Robin's friends. Robin slipped into Prince John's room where the prince lay sleeping, surrounded by the royal treasure. Robin rigged up a rope and pulley to lower the sacks of gold out of the window to the merry men who were waiting below. Oh no, what's gonna happen? Robin Hood had just begun his escape when Prince John woke up. "They're getting away with my gold," sobbed Prince John. "Guards, to the jail!" "Ouch!" exclaimed Robin as the castle archers shot arrow after arrow his way. Oh no! Robin's friends fled from the castle while the sheriff set the tower on fire. But where was Robin? Would he escape? Yes! With flames licking at his heels, Robin leaped from the castle wall and escaped into the forest. Prince John had lost again. There's the forest. There's the castle. A few days later, good King Richard returned to his castle. All the land was filled with joy. But who was most joyful? Why, Robin and Maid Marian, of course. Look, they got married. The end.
Hey everyone, I'm Isabel and I'm going to be reading Love Monster by Rachel Bright. This is a monster. Hello, monster. I think you'll agree he's a little bit funny looking, to say the least. He lives in a world of cute, fluffy things. Oh, look, it's an extreme pile of cuteness, which makes funny looking pretty darn hard. You might have noticed that everybody loves kittens, meow, and puppies, woof, and bunnies. You know, cute, fluffy things. But nobody loves a slightly hairy, I suppose a bit googly-eyed monster. Poor monster. This might be enough to make a monster feel, well, a bit down in the dumps, but not the moping around sort. He decided to set out and search for someone who'd love him just the way he is. He looked high, and he looked low. He looked middle-ish. He looked inside. And outside. More than once he thought that maybe a mannequin can't love him. Just maybe. Neither can his shadow. He found what he was looking for. His reflection can't love him either. But as it turned out, things were never quite as they seemed. Yes, it would be fair to say that his search did not go well. Look, he's crossed everything off. And then it didn't go well some more. The poor monster's sad again. It didn't go well for such a long time that, in fact, it began to get dark and scary. Oh no. And well, not very nice. Oh no! But in the blink of a googly eye, everything changed. Who's that? You see, sometimes when you least expect it, love finds you. Now, don't judge someone by how they look, but by the heart that they have.
Hi guys, I'm Farmer Olivia and I will be reading Little Blue Truck Leads the Way, written by Alice Shuttle. Horn went beep, engine purred. Friendliest sound you've ever heard. Look guys, there's Blue. Little Blue Truck rolled in the city. Beep, beep, beep. Isn't it pretty? Look, there's the city, guys. Towering buildings scrape the sky. Beep, said Blue, the city is high. Zoom, roared trucks down the avenue. The city is fast, said Little Blue. Shove on, Shorty, yelled a double-decker bus. With big red letters, rides are us. A grocery truck gave his horn a blast. Move it, bud, I'm first or last. That wasn't very nice. Wee-oh-wee, went a siren. Coming through, busy police car, things to do. Swish, swash, swoosh, went a big street sweeper, hollering, hey, better move, little beeper. Make way, yelled a limousine, the longest car you've ever seen. I've got his honor, the mayor inside. I'm important, move aside. He looks really mean. Cars and trucks were all in a tangle. Everyone started to shout and wrangle. Up for a taxi. Screech with the brakes. Stop! Yelled Blue, for goodness sakes. You might be fast and I might be slow, but one at a time is the way to go. Me first, said the limo, all puffed with pride. Then he gave a cough, and his engine died. He was stuck right there with the mayor inside. Beep, said Blue, would you like a ride? Everybody watching gave a shout when the door swung open and the mayor stepped out. Look guys, there's Mayor. He's the big guy of the city. His honor climbed right up on Blue and gave a speech the way mayors do. My friends, he said, what wonderful luck. All this advice from a little blue truck. One at a time is what we'll do. So single file folks, follow Blue. Trucks and buses got in line with vans and taxis and it all went fine. A taxi let a van go past. The double-decker bus said, I'll go last. Look, everybody's being happy. A marching band joined the big parade. Boom, 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 went the drums and the trumpets played. They rolled along the avenue and everyone waved to Little Blue. Hi, Blue. Blue is cool. They clapped their hands and yelled, hooray, hooray, for the little blue truck who led the way. Come back soon. The moral of this story is that little things can make a big difference in the world.